Charles, could you explain what Ryan Tannehill is trying to say? He keeps doing this every single year. We know what he wants to say, but yet he doesn't say it. Just say it, Ryan Tannehill. I know that my days are numbered. Why doesn't he just come out and say it, Charles?
Yeah, they're not going to be I don't think you're going to be playing guitar, singing around the fire in the quarterback room in the 2023 season. I think Ryan knows that just from a financial standpoint, I think from an age standpoint, and the fact that now the org has taken swings on two young quarterbacks in back-to-back seasons, that, look, the writing's on the wall, and he should have known this, and I think he had to have known this in February. We've gone a couple of months now, and I think really most recently back to the NFL owners' meetings, it was getting around the league that the Titans were making calls to other teams about Ryan Tannehill. And what I called it was sort of a pocket listing, like, hey, we're not really shopping Ryan right now, but we're wondering, would you be interested in Ryan Tannehill if something develops and we decide to go in another direction? I think that other direction initially was expected to be C.J. Stroud. They did all their homework on the quarterbacks. I think that's what they were trying to do, was to move up to number 3 to take Stroud. And I think if that had happened, they would have then tried to, perhaps on the clock or immediately after the draft, try to find a home for Ryan Tannehill in that contract. I don't think there was a lot of traction out there, honestly, to bring Ryan in. I think especially once Aaron Rodgers got done with the Jets, Lamar Jackson got done with the Ravens, there weren't really a lot of spots where teams sort of felt backed into a corner and needing to bring in a veteran like that. But like you said, say what you mean. Your days are numbered, and it's probably frustrating to have to go through this again. But we went through it last year, and as we saw, Malik Willis wasn't ready. We have no idea what Will Levis is really going to be able to live up to at this point. So he may have that job longer than even he thinks.
Charles, the NFL draft was just a week ago, right? How quickly this week has went by. We finally had a chance to exhale, right? Relax a little bit and sort of analyze the draft in its totality. For you, now that it's over, who do you think was the biggest winner of last week's draft?
Well, look, everybody talks about Philly, which I get. Jalen Carter for the value, right, where Howie Roseman was able to take him at 9. And, that's great. I think Jalen has some concerns. I think there were maturity concerns, but Philly had the upside of Jordan Davis was a guy who was really close to Jalen Carter when they played together at Georgia. The way it was described to me was Jordan was kind of a big brother to Jalen there. And so there's a little bit of that Georgia community already built in to the Eagles, and it made that landing spot and the ability to kind of help Jalen Carter grow, as a person and a player. It was a good landing spot for him with Philly. Nolan Smith getting him at the end of the first round. Tyler Steen, the tackle out of Alabama. You see Howie Roseman going back to Georgia and Alabama quite a bit the last couple of years. Clearly, he's seeing, the high-end results out of high-end players, and that's what he wants to build in Philly. But to me, that was the obvious one. I actually thought the Colts had a better draft than maybe they got credit for. I haven't looked at all the grades, but just right, from the size of their class, massive in a draft like this. I think tight end depth, there was depth here and there, but most people consider this sort of a C draft. Well, if you stack a lot of bodies, you're going to have some hits. And I just think top to bottom, they picked the most players. And, they also, I thought, got some value on some guys. Josh Downs was, some teams had Josh Downs, closer to a first-round grade. They end up getting him in the third round. And everything's going to be about Anthony Richardson, though. I think we all know that. If they hit big on Anthony Richardson, that's going to be a franchise-changing piece for, who knows how long that kid could play, 15 years, 20 years.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.